Today we're going to take a step back and really break down Season 10. My goal here isn't to hype you up or throw quick tips at you, it's to give you a clear, practical overview of everything you need to know. We'll go over what's changed, how those changes affect the way you play, how to make money this season without wasting resources, and just as importantly, what not to do so you don't lose out. This season is especially important to understand. Prices have shifted, game mechanics have been adjusted, and even maps have changed, so it's worth watching closely if you want to stay ahead and make smart moves. Think of this as your guidebook for Season 10, relaxed, in-depth, and focused on giving you the tools you need to make the most of it. But before we get into it, I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Top Up Live. They make buying bonds super fast, safe, and cheaper than most other places. They support a bunch of payment methods like Apple Pay, Google Pay, PayPal, and more. Plus, if you use code 762, you get 12% off your purchase. So if you're looking to save a bit of money while topping up, definitely check out Top Up Live. Thanks to Top Up Live for sponsoring today's episode. Now let's get into the guide. Before we dive into the specific prices, I want to note that I'm not going to go through every single item this season. That's a whole other video I'm working on, Stop Wasting Money Part 3, which will be out in a few days. That said, one of the most important changes this season is the prices of armors and helmets. Their cost has gone up significantly, but it's not without a reason. If you have a T5 or T6 armor, you now get the downed effect, which makes them much more valuable. For example, before I used to avoid picking up T5s if they were damaged because they were around 40k. Now even damaged, they're worth over 60k, so it's definitely worth grabbing them. This shift changed how you prioritize to buy them. So here's my advice. If you're playing Lockdown, first of all, we're in Season 10, stop playing Lockdown. I'll explain the best way to play Forbidden Zone later. Now if you do play Lockdown, stick with worn or like new T5 armors. Always go for the cheapest options. Since you're playing Lockdown, you're kinda poor, so you need to manage your resources carefully. If you're playing Forbidden Zone, it depends on the map and how much money you have. If you're low on funds and playing TV Station, it really doesn't matter if you're T6 armor or no, because most players now have M61s. The difference in armor won't make or break the fight. It's mostly your skills. I'm not saying armors doesn't matter, it definitely helps, but if you're poor, you can't afford plus 150, 160k on the armor alone, which would be plus 300k including the T6 helmet. So if you're low on funds, avoid maps where players are likely to have T6 bullets, farm and TV Station. Now if you're playing Armory, you can go with T6 armors even if you're low on funds because it's the best option there. But for the farm and TV Station, don't grab T6s if you're poor, stick to cheaper options and save your resources. Now for backpacks and chest rigs, again, I'm not going to go fully in depth because that's a different video. The main point here is simple. Stop making risky purchases if you're not rich. The price for rigs and backpacks have gone up this season, and how you approach them depends on your skill and resources. If you're a bad player, why would you spend big on large backpacks or chest rigs? You are basically donating them to your enemies. And if you're a good player and somehow poor, which is rare, don't buy rigs or backpacks either. You'll usually get them from your enemies during the game. As a skilled player, you can manage with what you pick up, so there is no need to spend extra on expensive equipment early on. Now let's talk about guns and bullets. This one really comes down to your playstyle, preference, and what you are comfortable with. So I won't go super deep in every option, but there's one major shift this season that you should take advantage of, and that's switching to 5.8x42 and 7.62x51 weapons. The prices on ammo have shifted, especially when connected to the armor damage. AP is more expensive, M9 is more expensive, BS, 7 and 12, SS198, all of them cost more than they did last season. But here's the shocking part, the two best tier 5 bullets, M62 and DVC-12, actually went down in price. I don't know why or how that works, but honestly, it doesn't matter, we're here for the profit. So if you're an H4, RPK, or AK fan, try to switch to 5.8x42 weapons. If you prefer slower, heavier weapons, switch to MK and use M62, because right now it's the best tier 5 bullet in the game. Trust me, the game gets so much easier if you take advantage of these ammo shifts. This season, one of the biggest changes in health system is the removal of damage penalty when using surgical kits. Before, if you use a cheap surgical, you'd take a -20, -50% damage penalty on that limb. Now that penalty is gone, so here's my advice. If you've got 50 million or more, or even if you're under that but you don't care about squeezing profit, use the TMK. It has 8 uses, recovers some HP, and doesn't take much to fix. If you're not sitting on 50 million, or if you want to maximize profit, even if you are, just use the cheapest surgicals. You're not losing anything now, so there's no point on spending more. And about the new stems, if you're not sitting at plus 100 million, they're too expensive for you. I don't care what your storage value is, they are expensive. So don't use them. So yeah, that's everything I wanted to cover for the buying side this season, from armor and helmets to backpacks, rigs, guns, ammo, and even medicals. Those are the main points you need to keep in mind. Again, this isn't a deep dive into every little detail, it's just a big picture overview to help you make smarter choices without wasting money. Now for the selling side, I only have one key point to share because again, this is just an overview, not a full market breakdown. Here it is. Don't sell anything with less than 5k profits. The system for selling weapons is different now. Before, you could throw up an H4 for 180k and people would still buy it. But now, the market is flooded. There are hundreds of H4s listed. To actually sell yours, you'd need to strip all the attachments off, and doing that counts toward your weekly selling limit. So don't waste your slots on items that net you less than 5k profit. It's just not worth it with the way the system works now. First of all, let's talk about lockdowns, or actually, let's not. Because if you're still playing Lockdown in Season 10, you're just wasting your time. There's no real fun in them anymore and the profit isn't there. The only exception is Northridge because thermals still make it worthwhile. But outside of that, Lockdowns just don't have enough juice. So here's my advice. If you're poor and forced into them, that's a different story. But if you're not, or if you think you can handle 10 to 20 Forbidden runs, just focus on Forbidden games. Don't waste your time in Lockdowns. Now let's talk about Forbidden Zones. We've got 3 maps here, and I'd like to rank them by sweatiness and juiciness. Number 1, Farm, the sweatiest and the juiciest. Number 2, TV Station, still tough but slightly below Farm. And number 3, Armory, the least juicy but still dangerous. So how do you actually make profit on these maps? The single most important factor is having a team. If you're solo, surviving fights in TV Station or Farm is extremely difficult. Not impossible, but you'd need to play either extremely well or extremely prepared. Otherwise, you're just not surviving. Armory is just a different story. You can play it as a solo or duo without it feeling as overwhelming. Though I'll explain later why I'm a bit disappointed in how that plays out. But first, let's talk about Farm, and let me be clear, I'm not claiming to be an ultimate expert here, I'm just speaking from my own experience. Farm is basically T7s or Reds, it's pure chaos. Honestly, the only time I'd recommend playing Farm is if you're going to go with a full squad. Even then, there's still a good chance your squad gets wiped, but it's much better than trying it as a trio, duo, or worst of all, solo. So my advice for Farm is simple. Don't play it unless you have a full team. Next up is TV Station. A few seasons ago, you'd usually see people running M61s or T6 armors, but not always. Now it's always. Every lobby has teams with M61s, T6s, H4s, MKs, fully geared squad charging at you like rhinos. TV Station is super good and super juicy. The only reason I ranked it below Farm is because T7s don't usually play there. If you take T7s out of the equation, TV Station would be actually the sweatiest and juiciest map in the game, since the map is packed with players and you can't really hide. You often get pushed right after spawning. The most important factor is, again, having a full team, and playing extremely well isn't optional here, it's required. You'll also need T6 bullets or the highest level ammo your gun can handle, otherwise you'll just get outgunned. So my advice is simple, go in fully prepared and expect the bare minimum you'll face in this lobby is T6 armor and T6 ammo. Have fun. Now, let's talk about Armory, and honestly, they really ruined it this season. I guess the idea was to make it more noob-friendly, which is nice in theory, but in practice, they just broke the map. Armory's loot and the opponent's loot have both taken a hit. The main reason is that all the safes inside the bunker were removed. Before, the plan was simple, spawn near the bunker, push it, spawn further out, wait a bit, then push the bunker. But now, there's no point in going for the bunker. You maybe get 2 or 3 safes at most, and all the safes are outside. And because of this, you won't see as many players or as much loot in the bunker area anymore. That said, there's still plenty of fights, and if you enjoy the outside bunker fights, Armory is your heaven. And for the strategy, here's the key change. Before, you push the bunker every time, but now you would have to push bunker just to extract. What do we do now? Push radar. Radar is the best spot, it's tough to take, but if you control it, you will control the map. You'll have visibility over bunker, mine areas, and you can dominate engagements. So here's my advice for Armory. From now on, push radar. Let's make Armory great again by turning radar into the most crowded, competitive spot on the map. Okay, I guess we covered everything for this season. Soon I'll be dropping Best Loadout for Your Storage Value Part 3, so stay tuned for that. If I missed anything, let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching. Love you all. See you in a bit.